Okay, for the next one we have, oh, this is missing the front bit, isn't it? The Datsun, well, I think this was built into a dash. Might give that a quick clean now. I think this one had an actual moulding of the car around it, although you think it would still have the bit that pokes through. Maybe not, I can't remember what they did now. We've got a model, what does that say? Something 142. I don't think I'm going to read that. I guess we can maybe wet it a bit, it'll probably just destroy it, but it's a brown stain right where you don't want it. I think that was 142, but no, it doesn't really help read it. Of course there's a big blob of something there. But it's an AWA Datto. Who knows what this is out of, but I guess some sort of 70s Datsun. This is a bit different. Oh, yeah, we've got the made in Japan. So like I said, I don't know if Mitsubishi made AWA's radios or not, or if it was someone else. I think some of them could have been like Fujitsu 10 or something. Unfortunately, we'll probably never know unless someone can recognise what they look like inside, but I don't know them well enough to know one car radio maker from another. Is that loose? That should be loose, shouldn't it? Yeah, there's nothing else holding it, just rust. But this could possibly be of use to someone. Blue stuff in there. Oh my god, it's exactly the same as the other AWA. Oh, well, there you go. I think that's pretty much identical inside, but in a bit better condition. Although this has got the little neon, I think, for any static that comes down the antenna cable. That's in a different position. The other one was there, I think. HA1372 again. I don't know if it was a 1372. It's very similar looking light, certainly the same moulding on it. Yeah, it's a bit different in a few ways. What have we got there? Some sort of, oh, that's the antenna tweaker there. The other one was, I suspect, was what that thing was on the tuning shaft. Well, this one at least turns. This is in much better condition, as you can see. I mean, in fact, you can almost read the model number still. It tells you quite a bit. Get all those cobwebs out of there, and the cobwebs under that little inductor, transformer, whatever it is. But this is a bit more difficult because we've got a car wiring harness type connector, since it's a factory one. Yeah, so that's a bit different. I guess we can pretty quickly work out at least one of them. And if we can find the power switch, we can quickly work out the B+. But, oh yeah, we can see they've all got the little ceramic, what do they call those things? Bypass capacitors, I think. Pass-through, whatever, little ceramic tube capacitors. So it's a little ceramic tube, the pin goes through and back out the other side, and then the outer side of it, which is the other plate of the capacitor, basically is soldered to ground. But we probably find one of these is connected to ground. Oh, we've got a fuse there too, I think. Middle one, both of these ones in fact, on that side, seem to be ground, but if that's a fuse, which it is, more cobwebs. That's probably a positive. So that bottom one, I'd say, is the voltage in. How does that go? You just got to get it right. Now, do we have a? Yeah, it looks like a push on off switch, which unfortunately I can't get to, but I can see it's got a blue wire there think, and the other blue wire which goes to that blue bypass, which is sure enough the fuse, and we should find that comes back, well, at least when we're on, I'd say it comes back to there. I think I said it was that bottom one, didn't I? There we go. Or are we? Something's not too heavy. No, it's just a corroded pin, I think. So the bottom one's definitely a positive. I guess we're going to find out which ones are the audio ones as well. The one next, the one up the top here, probably can just hook to the chassis anyway. No sign of anything. Oh yeah, there is a current being drawn, very small amount, but it is just a radio. No sign of a lamp. And I guess this chip, not sure that it's connected to ground. Often they're isolated from ground, I think. I think the easiest way, well, it's probably going to be these two, I guess. One of them goes to a yellow wire, I think, which would be this yellow bypass thing here. Oh, there's two of them. Handy. Maybe they are both yellow. Well, that one isn't hooked to the chip that I can find. It could be capacitor bypassed or something. Oh, look at this. Is that coming out? No, that's... What have they done there? Yeah, they haven't fitted the laminations in there properly by the look of it. That's weird, unless they're meant to be like that. Can't imagine two of them are meant to be sticking out, but anyway. So I wonder if yellow and yellow are a... well, what else will go through bypass caps? Not much else would. Interesting, both those seem to be shorted together. So we've got two yellows joined together, and then we've got a green. Oh, they were earth, there's only that pin down there, so that's the green. I wonder if one of these is a light. The fact we haven't got a light is either because the light is blown or because it's not connected. And being a car, they probably hooked it up. Yeah, light globe's alright, I think. So one of these will be the Datsun switched. That yellow one. Yellow one on the end. So that's why I was getting it shorted to everything else, probably. That's light. The top one, so the light is probably across there. That's ground. So we don't want the top one. We've got one. We've got these two. Now, did I check the green to the chip? Yeah, I think that cap might be a speaker coupling cap. God damn it. Yeah, so we've got two to pick from, and I don't know which is which. Well, it's got to be one of the two, I guess. I could hook an oscilloscope up to it or something. And which one did I say was the light globe? I've completely forgotten the top one, I think, wasn't it? This one. Yeah, so... as long as I know what's going on there. There we go. Ah. If that sticks out like that, how did this go on? Oh, like that. Gotcha. I had it in the wrong spot. So, we got the ground there. We need to get the antenna connected. Actually get it pumping out some sound. Oh, well, we'll hook the oscilloscope up and see if there's any sign of audio coming out. Well, it's not that one. Well, it better not be. Aha! An absolute ton of audio coming out there. I'm not sure it's as good as it should be, but that's just the way it looks, I think. So the green one, that didn't light up. I wonder if I've blown the globe filling with it. Be my bloody luck. Trying to get the mongrel back in there and it didn't want to go. No, it's good, but it doesn't freaking light up. Well, is it hooked back to ground, I guess? Oh, does it need to go to one of these pins? Now, which one's the green connected to? Oh, it was that bottom one, I think. Okay, I'll just hook a... Oh god, even that's a bit close to the chassis for my liking. Why did they put this piece of metal here? Yeah, it's going to be very close to chassis and positive, and we don't want to touch either with our speaker or we'll have trouble. Potentially blow the amp chip up. And we've got to get the speaker hooked to the earth. Just clip it onto the earth connection and power to that. Yeah, I think I can do it like that. Don't know why that suddenly just kicked in, but certainly picks up better than the other ones. Train control is hard to turn. Yes, working. Sounds enthralling. Okay, so that's everything except that the lamp doesn't seem to want to work because something must be open circuit on the ground side, I guess. Well, assuming, well, I check the continuity to the lamp. Yep, doesn't connect to ground. Hang on. Because it connects to the other yellow. I thought the other yellow did connect to ground, but maybe I'm wrong. What the hell does the other yellow connect to then? It's that one. And that one with that one. So we've got to hook between these two to get the lamp to work. So it's on a completely different circuit, basically, completely isolated. Well, that's a new one on me. Don't think I've ever seen. Usually they're just to ground. Like, why would you run another wire in the car? What's playing up now? Oh, is it my earthing? Something diggy here somewhere. To be able to give that sense of... I think we've got dry joints on the amplifier or something. Brilliant. Just brilliant. And if we want our light lit up, go away antenna, we need to hook to these two. Like I say, that is the craziest. Yeah, there it goes. Well, that's certainly different. So that comes on here. Oh, so it's, yeah, of course, it's one of these cars where you have it on all the time, I guess, whenever you light the thing up, so you can actually find the radio, even though you're still guessing where the knobs are. They didn't light them up in these ones. But even so, I don't know why you wouldn't have an earth there, but maybe it's something to do with that being an independent wiring circuit in the car. But I think we're going to have to, yeah, we've got the same problem, haven't we? We're trying to get the board loose. Well, at least I know it's got some sort of intermittent, probably around that amp chip, intermittent solder joint. I really don't fancy pulling another one apart. I've wasted enough time already on these things. But I guess this one's a potentially saleable for a few dollars type unit. It's about the only decent one out of a lot of them. So that loosens that up. That's still a completely separate. Oh, looks like we can undo that. So I almost need to draw a diagram on this, or what the connections are. So the radio, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Speaker, positive. Lamp, and I think they're both Gen D. Well, that's pretty simple. Got another little bendy bit to bend out of the way. And I think if I undo the screws, but we've got this transformer with its weird windings hanging out. I don't think I put it in the factory like that. It probably did. Oh, it feels like it's stuck down there, but is that just these? Oh well, let's try and screw in these things again, and I should be able to wind them. Okay. Oh yeah, that's it. I can see the thing come forward, so it's at the high end, so we can wind the ferrites right out of them, just to make it a bit safer. Oh, we're soldered onto the chassis. And we've got a little pin on the chassis there holding it. I'll bend that out of the way so it's, there's two of them I think down this end holding the board in place. Let's get rid of them because we don't want anything getting in our way. And I'm going to unsolder that, or at least melt it. Yeah, loosen that off. Oh well, we're getting somewhere, but we've got a wire here which I think is causing us grief. Yep, was, and we can start going back a bit. We've got another. Do we have to unsolder these other wires? Some white wire here's got to go. That's next to that inductor, and there's a black wire may have to go. It's just slowly coming. Oh, come on, people! I think we can. But then this white wire is going to hold us back. White wire goes to the top one on the trimmer cap. There's another black wire and plus the volume. They just don't like you having an easy life, do they? Now, oh yeah, end pin on that chip. Yeah, that side, first three pins there are all definitely cracked. And this one's, I don't think it's actually fully gone on, maybe it has. breaking. They're all very close to dry, whether they actually are, but it's something around there. I think I can see more cracking joints there as well. Quite common in car radios to get dry joints just from all the movement and stuff, heat changes. So there's a big dry joint on this other connector here. If I get that blue wire out of the way, that one there is very bad. That could have even been dropping out the power, but we did seem to have some current draw even when it died. Oh yeah, look at that, that's terrible. We'll resolder that whole chip. Didn't need to resolder that pin, it's not connected. It's just soldered to a pad, that goes nowhere. That ground could probably do with doing. I don't know if it does anything important, but if it looks dodgy, resolder is the best thing. Then you don't miss anything. Yeah, the radio section, oh yes, that connection there is not the best. It's on an IF can, all things. Yeah, they didn't do the best job in the factory on this one, possibly, but given its age and all it's been through, it's not surprising. There's a couple of bad joints in it. Even if they had been soldered perfectly. So another IC here probably wants at least the end pins checking. But that explains why the sound suddenly came on and took me by surprise. Oh yeah, that pin isn't the best. Can see the solder peeling away. I might do the whole chip, I think. Yeah, no, this is crap. Get some finer solder. The solder on this IC is terrible as well. So yeah, I don't think this one would have been the best in the factory. I've already done that one, I think. I'll do it again just to make sure. Yeah, no, these are terrible. It could have even been this bit playing up, because that amp chip didn't fully look like it was disconnecting, but these ones are terrible. Even though they look better. Unless the sound isn't dropping out at the moment.
To recognise climate change or climate breakdown, as I prefer to call it, isn't only affecting us.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't think there's much more I need to do. Oh, I know what I was going to do. This tight tone control needs a bit of oil or something in there, maybe. I don't know how you really loosen these things off easily. But let's try maybe getting a bit of oil. I can go onto that inner shaft a bit as well while we're at it. Even though that's
The climate changes. So,
oh, shut up. Did not want to hear talk about the radio. That's certainly getting in there somewhere. Yeah, ideally, I mean, you have to pull the whole pot apart otherwise, and try and get these shafts separated. The amount anyone's going to use it, but that's fine. That's getting quite loose now. You can pull it back and forwards a little bit. That's even nicer because it'll get the oil down in there. But that was the only other thing I was thinking about. Oh yeah, I can turn that with my finger now. and that's with it being covered in oil. It's a little tight, but yeah, I think we can call that fixed. What I do want to do is, I guess, just run the light while it's while the cover's on it, and we can have a look and see what it looks like, what it would have looked like. And yeah, who knows what sort of Datsun this would have been. Hopefully not a 120Y, but it would have been something around that era probably. And there we have it. Bit of a green glow with our little Datsun symbol going. Obviously would look a bit better with the knobs and everything in place. Well, that wasn't very well crimped on, was it? God, that's tight. And that was our diagram at the back. Looking at it like that. Speaker on the bottom, positive on the bottom, couple of grounds, or you can just hook to the chassis, and then 2 for the lamp, completely independent of anything else. So that's quite a nice little radio, that one. Don't know if I can clean that dial up a little bit better. It's a bit risky even touching it, but this one possibly could be sold because I don't want to keep it. I don't have a Datsun to put it in. Someone might want an original radio for their, well, I don't think anyone's going to be doing up a 120Y, but some of the little 1600 or whatever they were. Maybe it could even be out of like a 180B or something, I guess. Was they that old? I can't remember when they actually came out, but they did sell a lot of cars in Australia. I should be a bit careful when I clean this back bit. But yeah, quite good little machines, the Datsuns. And I think there's plenty of people who are fans of them. And that, I think, has actually got black spray paint all over the front of it. Is that what that is? Where's some meth? I should get rid of that. Someone's probably resprayed the car or something, some part of it. Yeah, there's definitely black little dots on there, and they're not really coming off. Yeah, they're starting to, I think. Methane usually dissolves the things, but you might have to polish them off. Yeah, it's got quite a few little dots still. Come on. Yeah, I think I might have to put a bit of metal polish on there or something and try and take them off. No, my luck, it'll probably wreck the thing. See if we can do it without marking the plastic. There's one on the Datsun badge there. Even that's not getting it off. That's got some, maybe it's actual damage to the plastic. Yeah, I can see some black on there, so that's a good sign that we're getting some of it. Or is it where someone's been welding or something? Hopefully they're not or not grinding, I should say, not welding. Hopefully not grinding sparks that have done it. Yeah, they don't come off easily. They do feel a bit lumpier than you'd expect, so maybe there's always something with these things. I think that's paint, and parts of it are coming off if you scrape it. Got to be super careful though, because that'll probably put marks on there. How nice. They're not very noticeable. Some now that I took it off that I could even notice them, but they're there. Like I say, always something with these things. They've always got some sort of damage. They've had a long, hard life, unfortunately. Let's got on there? 79661 79 maybe? I don't know. It could be around that era. Which probably would make it about a 180B or something. Not a 180B, yeah, it is a 180B, isn't it? 120Y, 180B, no, I'm thinking of the other one. I think it was a 180B. Was it 240Y, 120Y? I can't remember now. But the latest shape Datsun. Oh, well, that was another epic one as well. So quite a bit of work. Could certainly be cleaned up a bit more if someone wanted to, but at least it's in basically original condition, but with the dry joints fixed, everything tested. I mean, I guess ideally I probably should have put a new light glab in there, but that one's probably okay. Yes, the next one I have a quick look at is this Eurovox thing. Might get rid of this bracket off, it would be a good start. Looks like it's been a bit bent. So this is, I guess, sort of getting towards the mid-80s even. Yeah, it would have been like the last of the Commodores before they went to the VLs, I think. I can't remember what the VLs had in them as far as a stereo, but they might have had something similar. There's all the foam around those buttons, it's all just disintegrating, so I might as well get rid of it anyway. It's been a bit bent on the end there for some reason. I guess someone's been, they've broken all the bits that hold the, someone's tried to force this out of the dash or something. Yeah, that's cracked. The mount, there's only got one mount left on there. So this is a parts unit, I think, is all it's ever going to be good for. Yeah, someone's bent the hell out of, oh look at it, yeah, someone's butchered. They haven't had the proper tool to get it out of the dash, I guess. You need those little double prong things to get it out. So what do we got on the front? We got bass, treble, so that's rather fancy. Balance, on volume, LD, LX, MO. We've got memory, seek, tune, AM, FM, the MO, LX, LD. Not quite sure what they are. You could probably find a manual for this online somewhere. We've got another bracket here, I guess it's part of the car. Can't imagine this is worth much in this condition, but like I say, it might be, well, if all the front bits are broken, it's probably not much good for someone unless they got one with faulty electronics, I guess. Does it come off? Two little screws on the back. So this must be just prior to the era where everything's clipped together basically. It's kind of funny having to take screws out of a car stereo of this sort of format. Or form factor, because usually these are into the clip together type. This looks kind of familiar inside these brown circuit boards. I would have fixed a few Eurovox over the years, maybe even out of these Commodores, probably out of the later ones. SD level pot, 19 kilohertz cancel. What does that say? 75 kilohertz adjust. Yeah, so we've got a little early surface mount chip there. Not surprising when you've got a digital display like this. We've got some sort of HA chip in the output. HA13001, yeah, they were very common from memory. Little bit of corrosion damage in this thing. One of these IF pack things, they used to be common for causing trouble in some of these radios. You used to get dry joints either in the pack or where it's soldered to the main board. Probably some of the more later ones than this one though. And we've got a hell of a lot of connections with probably nothing to say what any of them are. We might need to get the bottom off. This may have up to 4 speakers, all isolated from ground. So it could be up to 8 connections. Didn't have a fader on it though, so I'm not sure we've got all that. It'll have the main power, the switched power, that's an NEC chip, be it UPD I guess, 1710 I think. And here's all our connections coming through the little caps. We should find one goes to, which one was on off? On volume, that one, so it'll be these 4 pins here. That'll be a good starting point. And I assume one of these wires just goes straight to solder to ground, or there's your black wire for starters is soldered to that. So black wire there. Then we've got your standard colours, red and orange maybe our power. I wouldn't be surprised if the brown, white, grey and pink are our speakers. That's the most likely scenario. All the speakers on that side though, we've got some different bits and pieces here. So that pink wire might be something else. Or maybe those 3 are the speakers and the pink wire is something else. One of these is probably lighting. So let's see. There's our switch, it's these 2 connections. Multimeter's gone to sleep. Oh yeah, I can see an inductor there. Yeah, well that's in those 2 tabs, and those 2, that's our inductor. That's another dead giveaway. How does that switch? Oh, you press it. Doesn't seem to work though. What good's the switch? Oh god, I can't make a decent connection. Well, the switch doesn't seem to do jack diddly. Don't tell me the switch is faulty. Could be. Well, unless it's coming out somewhere else. No, that's it. I think we've got a dud switch. Already found that. So now which wire is connected to, well we can see it there, it is the, yeah, red by the look of it. What a surprise, red is our B plus. That'll be the switch by the ignition type one. Now, where does orange go? Orange goes to that one there, which connects to what? A fuse, I think. No, is that the fuse? No. Oh, wait, what? Why have we got a fuse in here? And what does it connect to? I can't even work out what. Maybe it is the fuse. No. That's that thing there, I think. Is that the fuse? That's the fuse there, I think. Yeah. And that goes to the one, the pink. Yeah, I wondered about that pink. Now, could that be a switched output? It's probably this pink wire here. What's this component? There's 4 things. Oh, God knows. And then there's what looks like a voltage regulator. So the pink, you'd assume to come into one of those, wouldn't you? Well, there's I think that's a diode through there. Yeah, I could see a diode soldered to something else, so that would be the collector of that transistor. So the pink may be the, well, that wouldn't be our, it could be. Would that be our standby or memory? Shite knows. But that would explain why those 2 are separate. Ground is ground. I mean, the only other thing to find is that we've got our speaker or our amplifier. We need to find what comes back. There should be a few lines with probably these caps. or something like that. Get off there. So it's capacitively coupled, this one. I think this comes back. We've got this wire, and we should find, where did I see that other cap there? Probably these two, I reckon, which is blue and white, I think. White wire and possibly the blue wire. Which one was it? No, it's whatever goes to that. So I think the white could be the one next to it. Brown. That brown goes to ground, I think. Brown is also sold to ground. It's got to be the white wire. Where'd the white wire go? Over there. I don't know if I'd actually checked to the white. Oh, I checked the white. I found white. Oh, did I? There. That's the one that comes down to that capacitor. And that goes in the amp. So the other capacitor is, well, it's got to be blue. Yeah, it's blue. White and blue. I should go through another green capacitor. So I think we'll say white and blue are speakers. So what are brown, grey and orange? Orange goes to, oh that's right, we were looking at that before. Orange goes to here. I think that's a capacitor, is it? No, it's that wire. Oh, we got some sort of auxiliary input. What the hell we got shielded cables for? It's kind of odd, this car that's got this high-tech radio wouldn't have something else connected. And what were the other wires? The pink is behind the orange. Oh, that was the fuse. Not the pink then. Oh, what is it? Grey and brown goes to the thing. Grey is the second one along from that orange one. It's that one, I think. Which comes up here to anything or nothing. Is there a wire there? Yeah, wait up. No, but it's, no, it goes to nowhere. Oh, there's something here though. Now it comes to this thing. That goes to the other side of the switch. What the flippin'... That side works. Definitely switches across those two arms, so we can always use the other side of the switch, I guess. But that actual switch, so that's an output wire, I'm guessing. That is the... Was that the grey? Yeah, the grey wire is a switched output. I think if we hook both of those to positive and hope for the best. Black to ground maybe. Or black to... black. Oh yeah, well don't forget we've got a knackered switch, haven't we, potentially? Well, that's handy. I think we'll bypass that switch and hope for the best. Oh, actually I can hook to the grey wire, can't I? If I hook to pink and grey across that way... Well, let's soon find out. Oh, I'll blow the crap out of it. Or... I can't get across there, can I? Let's hook all that together. Oh yeah, we've got a spark now. And we've got 87.9 on the display. So the switch is knackered in this thing. FM, AM, that switch ain't the best either. Okay. Oh, something's going weird. Was that my imagination? No, it's just my imagination, I think. Now, speakers I said were what? Blue and, was it white? The two next to each other there. I think I'll just solder onto this thing. It's going to be the easiest way. But the good thing about the switch is it's got a second set of contacts, so I can bypass we can just link across to the other contacts. But one way I often used to do this is just solder the wires on. Which is these two here that go to the amp chip. No point messing around. Because you don't want to mess up the customer's wiring harness. Not that it matters in this particular instance much, but yeah, I can hear the speaker already making crackling noises because the cap's charged, and so this is actually old enough to have capacitive coupling rather than the chips that are all wound up. The only problem with this is I can't really hook to it. I can't flip it upside down safely without risking shortenings. And this is going to be a bit iffy. I'll have to cut these off shorter. I need the ends redoing anyway. Yeah, I can hear that one making a noise out of the speaker, so again we've got another charge cap. That shows we're on the right thing, I think. Could be that we're hooking up to some other random capacitor, I guess, but I might fix this. This needs to be trimming and doing anyway. This wire is getting messy. Let's just get rid of that. Cut it, trim a short bit, start again. Rather than messing around risking shorting things out of here. So we should get some sound out of this now if I hook power back onto it. Hopefully not at full volume. Oh, the display is playing up on this. But I saw it do that. There's the old FM rumble. Oh, that's some sort of tone thing. Oh, we've probably got the bass. That's treble. That's bass. That's balance. It's either pretty dicky balance control, I think. It did drop one channel out. Oh, that's not. Hey, that is balance. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Yeah. Give me some antenna connection. Oh, it's got a weird shallow antenna socket on this. Uh-oh. Something just cut out. Yeah, how do I tune? Oh, can't I go to... Oh, there we go, it can go down when it wants to. Oh, can I go to 87.8? I think that's what one of the stations is on. There, we can hold it down. That should be Triple J. Not the greatest. ABCFM. Oh, there should be one. Oh, the antenna's fallen off, of course. Every time by the time you get there, the antenna's fallen off. Oh, it does have a seek button. There we go. Car radio should always have seek. Picks up rubbish everywhere, but
priorities just begin to on topics of discussion.
Press it can pick up its auto seeker station when it's that poor quality. Yeah, volume control's a bit diggy, but it's basically a goer. Again, not surprising really. Besides, I guess this thing probably was left in the car to rot because it doesn't come on. Let's see, I don't know if I can really get into these sealed pots very well, which I think is what they are. Oh, they're nice little Alps ones at least, but how do we, yeah, they're pretty sealed up. Maybe if I put them upside down and squirt a lot up there, it runs back into it. That's all I can hope for at the moment. And what else was I thinking? Oh yeah, we're going to have to bypass our volume control, sorry, power switch. That's these two or four connectors here on the back of the volume. If I had to solder a bit of wire across, just get a bit of tin and copper wire here, and well, this is insulated tin and copper wire. And thankfully Holden were generous enough, or Alps or whoever made them, to give us a spare set of contacts. So we'll just connect the open circuit faulty ones to the good set. It doesn't look like they're connected to anything on the other side of the board or anything, so we should be fine. And then I can hook back to the B+, the red wire, red and pink, and we should be able to turn it on and off. So let's get rid of the grey, black, these rotten old clip leads. Was I on that or was I on that? I think I was just on the chassis, wasn't it? Yeah, well, it's not on. Press that and it comes on. But we do have an issue with the beautiful. Basically working other than this segments of this display tend to, of course, won't do it when you don't want them to, but yeah, segments dropping out. It's still a bit iffy, but at least those buttons work. Wow, yeah, they're all going, aren't they? They're all a bit dicky. Haven't been out in the weather, or probably just not used. Memory 2. That makes it sound higher pitched or something. Oh, that's the band switch up. Sounds a bit like a channel's dropping in and out a little bit. FM, well, yeah, it's a bit dicky, that switch. Ooh, you know, we should have sound there, shouldn't we? Why have we not got sound? Oh, it's probably the antenna moving around. Oh, it's completely disconnected, and clip leads are useless. quick look, there could well be some dry joints on these connectors or something. I'll be surprised if this thing doesn't have some dry joints in it. It's pretty well soldered though by the look of it. And where's the amp chip? I'll go over here too, whatever they are. That looks a little iffy. Because that's the, yes, the tuner module. There's a pin there, doesn't look the best. Whether it actually really does much, I don't know, but if it's anything to do with those IF modules. Yeah, a couple of those amp chip ones don't look 100%. Yeah, that one wasn't too great. Or that one. It might be alright, but it won't hurt to probably resolder a lot of them. At least this is a working unit. If someone had another good front for it. Probably worth coming over that middle pin of that regulator there. Don't overly like the look of that. It's got quite a bit of solder up the thing. I think it'll be alright, but ooh, they're definitely looking iffy. I can even see them without the magnifier. Oh yeah, that was a terrible joint. No idea what they are, little diodes, resistors, something like that, but oops, we just bridged something out. Worth resoldering them because they could cause anything to drop in and out if they play up. Another one there, where's that on that little thing? Probably a cap. Yeah, I can see more over here, rubbish. Definitely on their way out. Yeah, that one's peeling back. Yeah, those two are terrible. That one isn't the best. Some sort of chip in here by the look of it. Staggered pins. Yeah, ideally you'd probably go over the whole unit though. Sections of it are fairly good. There's a few more there that are starting to go. They're not bad. There's something on that chip right there is not good. And another one. If you get like the crystal oscillator or something on that dropping out, you'll know about it. Oh yeah, that pin's absolutely shot. So ironically it's the small stuff that seems to be badly soldered or dry jointed rather than the big stuff. As in the heavy components. Yeah, I think that feeds into that display, and there's a few iffy ones. Yeah, like that one was definitely iffy.
In a way, I think, like, I was
terrible.
when I
Oh, yeah, well, dry joints in the IF, I think.
And I fit in that space, so because it developed my confidence, I was able to go out.
I was gonna say there's something going on with that FM. So is it in either that little tuner module or is it in this big module? It's in that area. Could even be that little, I wonder if that's a little tuner module, something that's got microphonics, so that is dry joints of some sort. Well, to be fair, there's a couple of pins here aren't the best that I missed, but they're not going to be faulty, I don't think. But What is it? Is it a little, because this was a common issue with this sort of stuff. I might even pull that module out and we'll have a look at it. But even before the power switch died in this thing, it was probably sounding a bit like that. There goes part of the track. They're not a very good quality circuit board. I think that's the module. Sure enough. I think we can just pop our lid off. See what that looks like. It doesn't look that bad. It's not the shiniest solder I've ever seen, but surprisingly it looks good. So maybe it's in that other IF module. They all look absolutely fine. Doesn't mean they are, but wrong way around. So that would probably cause more of the tuning to drop out, I guess. What have we got here? Is that a reed relay in the back there? It looks like it. Why on earth is it a reed relay? Is that to change between tuner modules, or I wonder if it actually switches front ends or something on the antenna, because it looks like it's hooked up around the antenna somewhere. The crazy things you see. Push that home. Joint there doesn't look the greatest, but I don't think that's going to be anything to do with our issues. I might pull the IF module out as well. It looks quite good, but doesn't mean it is. Unless there are still some dry joints in amongst these things. They don't look too bad, but all it takes is one. The soldering is not the world's greatest looking, but it doesn't seem to be that bad. Yeah, it's strange. Usually it's a lot more obvious. And this is how much time you can waste on what may be a worthless piece of junk, really. But I mean, it's more about seeing what the faults are that goes wrong with these things. And it's hard to actually find these things, let alone faulty ones anymore, because most of them are long gone into the rubbish. Sometimes you just got to wobble these things free. Is this connected to the chassis? Don't think it is. I think it's just sitting hard up against it. Yeah, that's coming. That's pretty close to out, but there's always a couple of bits hanging in there. Now, I hope. Oh, have I unsoldered everything? There's no other weird. I think it's just a one. Oh. Is there another connector there? Oh, wait up. Tell you what there is, where that thing is, there'll be a pin there probably. Something feels like it's hanging on here. I stuffed up. It happens. Now let's have a look, because this is where faults often are. It does look fine. Well, not perfect, but there's a couple of joints, but they're not. I The more you look, the worse it looks, but it's not that bad. Well, we'll resolder that board. Usually the best thing is just go over it. Just go over it, especially any joints that look even slightly iffy, but normally they're pretty, like that one could have been one I guess, but normally they're pretty obvious. But that's the problem with dry joints, sometimes, yeah, well, like that one, as soon as I touch it, it fails, so that could have well been faulty. But the problem with dry joints is they're not always obvious. Oh well, I'm going to put that back in and see what happens. Fingers crossed that it at least works as well as it used to. Wrong way around. That's kind of clever, they've made it so that the case, that's why it's hard up against the case of the unit, is to save a bit of metal in the shielding and use the radio case as part of the shield. Good efficient use of materials there. Usually solder those, or melt the solder on those two tabs, make sure the thing's seated back on the board. Do that first. Before we solder any other pins, not sure what we got there, but it doesn't look the greatest. But yeah, there was a place in town that used to specialise in car radios, and often I would send them there because I just didn't really have the time anyway to do too many of them, and they weren't much fun, so better to send them to the guys that specialise and do the same faults, because this is what you often had to do, something like fiddle around resoldering the whole AF, which is not a big job, but kind of gets a bit boring if you do it too often. Well, that's not. It's still a bit. I've actually got that hooked to the antenna, yes. Still got something. So is it a dry joint or is it something else? Yeah, definitely microphonics, or is it a bad ground?
And right now,
No, something's not happy. Ooh.
coming through to Triple J.
Thank you.
For a little.
How do we do this?
Could be anywhere.
Write tons of songs and then produce them during the summer and test them.
Bloody earth's falling off. Yeah, we've gone quiet.
Inspired.
Oh, jeez. Could be anywhere. That seems to be a bit more sensitive. It's around that area, I think. Well, at least we've gone over everything else. Well, there's possibly a pin or two there. I think this thing really wants the whole board resoldering from one end to the other. It's about that way. Oh yeah, some of these are still a bit iffy, even though they look half decent. Because it's losing volume quite a bit. So it's something in the audio section, I think. But I think like the IF stage, you're just going to have to resolder everything. But I didn't think that IF was all that bad. But I thought I might as well do it anyway. And this can be the hassle of these things. It's usually the most common thing. There are a few joints on these chips. Oh yeah, that one just sucked right back. Could be iffy. There are a couple of these chips, and maybe there's something to do with the audio. That's affecting the volume. But I shouldn't be wasting all this time on this thing. Just a matter of keep going until you get it, I think, with this sort of thing. They're not the best. But usually you can spot the one that's likely to be the issue. This one I can't pick a particular dry joint or dry area. Could try redoing this area and then that doesn't fix it, we'll do somewhere else. It started loud. Yeah, it's there somewhere. Maybe. Alright. Uh-oh. Ah. Is it just the earth? It's a lot louder. No, there was one there somewhere. No, I might have got it though. Oh, where do I see one here? There's looking a bit. That one there. And that one there. There's a couple still don't look the best. No, that one certainly. So I think this whole board almost wants doing. Although I'm getting there. Even if I didn't want to do the whole board. I think I saw something there. There's one there's not the best. Yeah, but there was nothing that was obviously the fault. But I think I might have got it. I guess the more I solder the better. Yeah, that one's a little cracked. A couple there. Yeah, the more you look, you do keep spotting new ones, even though you think you've got them all. I've done a large swathe of that area and bits around.
Is it a closer? Where would you place it?
Certainly a lot louder.
Ibiza record, and it could be like I'm closing.
Picks up a lot better too.
Still on the line for you to win.
Hi.
Hi.
I think sort of if I've had a look at
Something different because as I won 4 times, every time I tried to bet, and
Let's try afternoon.
No, using the wrong thing. It's not stopping anywhere. Well, I think we might have got it in the end. Still got this display dropping out a little bit here and there. Losing a few segments. And I've pretty much resoldered everything to do with that, I think. There are a couple of other bits at the front here which could be iffy, I guess. I'll just have to resolder absolutely everything. Not sure if it could be in the connections up to the display, on the display itself, or on the main board here, but I've pretty much resoldered most of it. That looks like it's got anything to do with it. Don't know. Yeah, definitely still. As soon as you move this wiring around, it comes right, but yeah, when you stretch on it, it seems to be alright. As soon as you push it back in there, that's when it plays up. So it could be the actual wiring itself. Oh, hang on, I can see it. I thought I resoldered all that. There's a dry joint possibly there. Maybe I didn't get around to doing it. I was going to resolder all these connectors. That one I think might have been iffy. I could have sworn I did it. I mustn't have got around to it. Because that's the bit I wanted to resolder, was the bit. Yeah, it looked like it had been resoldered, but some of it maybe, but not all of it. Because the bit to resolder would be the actual wiring that goes off to the displays. I can't be sure what I've done or what I haven't now. I'll just go down the whole thing. I think it's got some sort of buffer ICs there or something that run it. We'll just redo that whole lot. Oops, nearly shorted it to 2 pins together. Should probably do some other stuff with that, I reckon is what I needed to do. .666. Well, nothing that we picked up there though. Stereo light up, which is a good sign, which I don't think we had before. And yeah, the display seems to be pretty solid. Oh, I think that might all be going now, besides having a broken front and stuff. So what do we have? We had pink and red. Red, I think, was your ignition switched. Pink, your unswitched. Black wire was ground as well as the chassis. And I think it was blue and white were our speakers. Grey was our switched output, so that would be electric antenna probably, or automatic antenna. And I don't think we need any sort of lighting or anything because everything's lit up with LEDs. So unless it's got something to dim that down, it doesn't look that bright, I don't think. And my battery's about to go flat, so that'll do for this lot. Then we've got, what, 2 car cassettes? 1 car cassette. I was thinking this one might have been a car cassette, so we've got 1 car cassette and 1 amplifier. Whether that amp's going to be any good, well, whether that car cassette's going to be any good is another matter too, because it looks pretty rough. I'll get this better. It seems to have some damage to it, I think. Yeah, it's been rubbed. Something's rubbed against the front of it a bit. I could probably polish that off, maybe. I don't know how you would do that to a car radio. And unfortunately this front is pretty much stuffed. It's got a crack in it. It's lost its mounting bits. Could probably put some screws in there to roughly hold that back together. Got a bit of damage underneath. Looks a bit better cleaned up though. And maybe I can clean out the knob holes. But like I say, it might be good for someone who actually has a faulty one that they can't fix or don't want to fix. I think I took a couple of those tiny screws out of the covers, didn't I? I think are they the same as these? Let's see. Yeah, that's the size of screw. I might have some somewhere, but that's probably enough to sort of hold it on. Yeah, it's all bent to some place far away. I could pull up a couple of those screws out the back there. Well, that'll hold it on roughly. Yeah, I might see if I can polish the... I'll put me polish. Since the front's stuffed anyway, I've got nothing to lose. I don't know why it's got... Maybe it's some sort of chemicals run down it, or... I don't know what someone's done there. Made it a little bit scratchy maybe. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think we've done a bit of damage to it. So no, that's actually quite a... Yeah, it's got a fine scratches all over it, but at least it's not the mess that it was. Like I say, it's not really worth anything anyway, I don't think. Oh, actually, that's part of the radio itself, isn't it? So it needs a bit of finer stuff, but yeah, it looks a bit better than it was. It had those lines all down it. So that's about all I can do with that one. Now the front's just about trying to fall off again. Where did I put the plastic bit on the bottom? At least it's got the original wiring harness and everything with it. Does it go that way or the other way? Oh, it's got a little cut out for that bent bit of metal there. I don't know, is this the bottom or is this the top? Well, they've both got those metal, they're basically very similar, so why doesn't that want to slot in? There's a gap on that end because someone's removed something. Ah, so this is moved. Okay, now I gotcha. Oh, yeah, we'll put one screw in there, I guess. And we've got a couple of little countersunk ones there. So it shows you what sort of condition these things are in if they've been sitting in the vehicle and haven't had any of their original repairs done on them. Like no one's looked after it. And often people didn't get them fixed, they just left them in the car and put up with the faults if they came or went, or just didn't use it if it didn't work at all. So developed for GMH by Eurovox Australia, MRB 6201A. Guess I'll have to look that up. And is there any point putting these brackets on? I guess they might be part of the original car or something. Someone might want them, especially if they were trying to put one back together, because guaranteed someone's pulled all this stuff out and thrown it away. It looks like that's been bent. Ugh. That's some solid steel. God, I think I was doing more than holding the car in place. I wonder if that was that screwed from the top, the bottom. I'm not sure where that even went, because it's just part of the car. It seems to fit better there. Oh no, you can see the mark there, so it will say it was over the label. Definitely was there, at least in recent times. So it would have been fun to get out of the car if you had to access something from above there. Something up on that dash somewhere, I guess, or don't know. Don't know how they fit it in those cars. But yeah, it really could do with a better screen over that bit. New front panel, new knobs. I assume there would have been some end bits on here which probably came off to, yeah, well they would have come off to so you could get the tool into these slots. Oh yeah, these would have been, or do they go in the upper bits? Either way, these things are meant to slide to be released, and someone obviously didn't bother, so this thing could do with, basically you could pull the circuit board out of this I think and use it in another one, and that's about all that's good. Someone's bent the wrapper out of that. Well, it's certainly a bit of 80s aesthetic with the red and green LED display on it, push buttons and all the rest, and micro command, very micro computer I guess, which was kind of the aesthetic around that sort of time. But that seems to be basically working besides its physical issues. So we'll put that one on the shelf of finished ones for now. So thanks for watching.